Hey, how's it going, man? You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Hey, I'm 26. I've kind of gone down like a red pill MGTOW baptism over the past 2 years or so.
Okay.
I'm a Christian Reformed Baptist. So I've got some religious tint to my views as well.
Okay.
Obviously, as a Christian, I have expectations, from my family and some people in my church. So obviously, I'm not falling, by being
Mhm.
MGTOW, which causes some conflict. Anyway, that's I don't want to get too broad. Really, my main question is, a lot of times when I, talk to blue pilled people who actually want to have a conversation about red pill views and are just immediately dismissive.
Mhm.
A lot of times, one of the often I don't know, stated counterpoints that comes up that you'll hear is people will say, well, what you're saying, some of it makes sense, but don't you need to apply these criticisms to both? So if I bring up like hypergamy, for example, right? If I explain what hypergamy is, and I say hypergamy doesn't care, they'll say, well, yeah, like I can see what you're saying, but men have similar qualities. They're looking for like the top females and all that. So really, don't isn't this why are you applying it to women so strongly? Shouldn't you apply it to both men and women? So I guess what I'm
Who are
asking
you
is like
talking
what
to when you're having this conversation?
well, just multiple people, but like, okay, like just today, I was just with a friend of mine. He's a colleague of mine. We were having beers, and
Hmm.
he's in a new relationship, and he's blue pill, more or
Are you
less.
are you trying
And
to
he was
red
like,
pill these
well,
guys because you want them to join your club?
no, no, we were talking about we haven't talked like this guy specifically. We hadn't talked in a long time, and he was talking about his relationship, and he asked me what I was doing. I just kind of was just giving him my, yeah, I've just I don't know, I've kind of been, blah blah blah, and I think I brought up like the term red pill or something like that, and he was like, oh, I've heard of that before, and we started talking about it, and when I kind of got to explaining, some of these things, he was like, yeah, he's like, I think you need to apply that ideology more broadly to both sexes instead of just focusing on women or whatever. So no,
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't
So
like go out trying to preach or baptize, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
so generally speaking, you don't want to waste any time trying to initiate people that don't want to be initiated, right? The teacher's going to appear when the student's ready. The
sure.
student's ready when they have their heart broken, when they get cheated on, when they go through the divorce machine, when they get bad results with women time and time again.
Sure.
Um, when you start talking to like one of your average Joe friends about red pill concepts like, hypergamy, and then they
Mm,
start, feeding you some crap. Well, it doesn't just apply to women. Why doesn't it, why can't it also apply to men? It's like, okay, you might as well
uh,
like talk to this mug. Okay. Like just
sure.
have a conversation with this mug instead. You're going to get further. It's good. In fact, get this mug and give it to your friend.
Well, no, I mean, like, but I mean,
These are all in the
you can.
Teespring store below, right?
Yeah, if you don't think it's applicable to the show, you can come in and go. But I mean, I was just wondering, like, as I mean, I'm still learning. I'm 26. I'm only 2 years into this kind of journey. I guess I'm just saying, like, what I mean, do you have like, what is the
Why aren't
generalized
you
like?
MGTOW right now? Let me ask you that question.
Why am I MGTOW?
Yeah.
I basically was at like a mental low point a few years. I've never been in like a long-term relationship, but I was like kind of mental low point like a few years ago, and I did a lot of self-evaluation, and I had been like rejected by this girl that I liked, and I was
Mhm.
all like, oh, this is the worst, I can't, I'm gonna be alone, blah blah. I basically came to the realization after diving into some MGTOW content and some
Who do you
read
watch as
read
far as MGTOW content?
watch you, watch Coach, I watch Red Pill Men's Health. I did read some books. I want to read your book. I haven't gotten it yet. I read The
Mhm.
Manipulated Man, Villar's Manipulated Man, all this stuff. All this to say, I basically came to this realization point where I was like, oh, okay, everything I've ever done my entire life for for any reason was to please a woman, whether it be my mother or the girls my age around me. I've never done one thing to improve myself ever
Mhm.
for me. And so I just kind of got, oh, okay. So I deleted all my dating apps, stopped,
Okay.
pursuing women, and just kind of like went on this kind of
Here's
personal journey to just to be me and try to like improve myself for myself. I guess that makes
Got
sense.
it. But I mean, like you're in your 20s, like, this is
Yeah.
like these are the years for you to lay the foundation for your life. These are the years to bang. These are the years to understand women. These are the years to kind of like go through all that. Because if you're a Christian guy, and I assume you want to have a family and children, you need to have your head squared away properly when it comes to women, when you want to
Hmm.
cross that bridge. And, sitting around being a man going his own way, doing nothing to kind of like remedy all these things, watching more MGTOW content, like the sort of stuff that I'd say that you'd be better off watching and reading would be Rollo's books, book
Hmm.
1 and 2, specifically. In fact, since you're a man of God, read his fourth book. It just came out. It's on religion.
I'm
My
sorry.
book
Who
is
is this? I'm sorry.
Rollo Tomasi.
Okay.
Okay, he's got a book series called The Rational Male. Stop watching the MGTOW
I
content.
want to be.
I'm not a MGTOW content creator. It's, it's a place that you can visit, take a break from stuff, regather, and then you build yourself back up from there. But I get that you've been hurt and you got to work on some of that stuff. But you've got to lead by example. Like this friend of yours, you're talking about hypergamy with, and it's like, hey, let's have this conversation. He wants to argue with it. Like you won't have these. Like a real MGTOW doesn't have conversations with guys like that, right?
Uh-huh.
They just choose themselves first. They'll go and make decisions on a daily basis that are surrounded with mental point of origin. Just stay away from anything negative that's like, oh, look at this article and see, women aren't worth it, and this is why you should just stay MGTOW. Like I said, it's a place to visit. Okay.
Well, you
have to build yourself back up after that.
You say that, but don't. I mean, I've heard you espouse on this channel, on your podcast, that you don't believe that marriage is a good investment for men, pretty much at all. I mean, is that true?
Think it is. No, I don't think it is.
So I mean, that's you're saying like, oh, you're a Christian, so you want to have a family. But what I'm saying is that I'm kind of trying to steer myself away from that and kind of trying to not make that a goal. Which you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to make that not my goal. Is I don't want to have that. Yeah.
So Ethan, the clarity that you need, you will get from my book. You'll get from Rollo's first two books. I haven't read his fourth book yet on religion, but get Rollo's Rational Male series and read my book, The Unplugged Alpha. Come back on the show in a few weeks once you've gone through all that, and then ask some more questions.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yep. All right. See you.